Hi guys, you're welcome to Halogenous Ideas. In this tutorial, I will show you how you can deploy your React app to GitHub using GitHub Pages. The procedure is not very straightforward, but don't worry, just stick till the end of this video and I'll show you how you can how you can host your React project on GitHub Pages for free. So this is what the final project we're going to be working on. This is what it will look like. So just nothing fancy, just an application that is pulling data from a fake API online. So something very simple. So this project has two dependencies, SAS and Axios. So I'll also show you how you can install all those, and let's just get into it. So I created this README file, this procedure to help us go through the steps one after the other, so you can always come back to this and you'll make use of it. And there's also a link that you can share over here, so you can just copy this link and share with any of your colleagues that might need this. So the prerequisites: a GitHub account, having Node.js and npm installed on your computer, and the React ready project ready for deployment. Okay, but for this particular tutorial, I will advise that you set your project aside for now and go with this particular one that I created for the purpose of this particular tutorial. This is the one that you should use. This is the one I've updated. So this is the one you will go with. Just download this to your computer and put it in a folder, like create a folder on your computer, download this, put it inside that folder. I've done mine already here. This is the folder. Then I've downloaded this particular one. This is it over here. If you want to download it, just open a new tab, then you click view raw. You click view raw and it will download that particular this particular file. It will download it to your device, but I don't need to download it. So moving on, the next thing you want to do is to create an empty repository on GitHub. Go to github.com and create a new repository. You must be logged in, obviously, and do not initialize with a readme or a git ignore. Okay, so let me just copy this. This is going to be the name of the GitHub repo that we are using, but you can use any name that you want, any name at all. So come here and create a new repository. Then a new repository. So like I said, any name at all, any name will go. But for the sake of this tutorial, this is the one I'm using. You can also use this for uniformity. So then you create a repository. Don't forget, you're not adding a README file. You're not adding any gitignore file or whatsoever like that. So this is an empty repository. Now, I need you to take note of something. If you come to settings and you go under pages, you can see we don't have any deploy here. We don't have any deploy at the moment. We don't have any deploy. So let's just move forward. Now, the next thing you're going to do is that this particular empty repo, you need to clone it with administrator privileges to your computer. Okay, you need to clone it. You can use SSH or access tokens. That is the next thing for you to do. Let me close this. Come here. So you have to clone the empty repository. You have to clone the empty repository to your device. You can use access tokens, which I would recommend, or SSH, whichever way you use to clone your GitHub repository to your device. It is all fine and good. So when you are done cloning it, then you cd into that particular repo. Just note the name of the repo I used here. I'm using deploy react git, and I'm cloning deploy react git. So cd into deploy react git. Any name that you're going to be using for the repo is totally fine. So if you need help with using access tokens like I will be using in this tutorial, you can just come to this video over here. It will guide you on how to all these ads. What is this ad doing? So this is it over here. So please just use this tutorial to get rid of how to use access tokens if you want to learn it for the first time. But that being said, so I'm going to pause the video a bit, then I'll fast forward it just for me to clone the repo to my device, then I'll continue. Okay, now I've cloned this particular empty repo into the folder. Like I said, just make sure you are cloning with administrator privileges. You can do this using SSH or access tokens. So like I said, if you want to do this with access tokens, you can just learn it using this tutorial over here. Now, the next thing I want to do is to copy my project files into this particular directory. And where are my project files? if you come to this particular folder, this file that was downloaded earlier, you can just extract it. Then after extracting it, come here, copy everything inside the folder, and come back to the empty repo that we cloned and paste everything. Now, this is a typical React project, but it is missing the node modules. Okay, let me open this in VS Code to make it easier to navigate. No, this is not what I want to do. I forgot something. I need to cd into this particular folder. So paste. So cd inside that folder, then I will open it in VS Code. Okay, so this is the only folder I'm opening. Initially, what happened is that I was opening, this is the particular directory I was opening in VS Code, but this is the only one I want to open, this deploy React Git, which is what I'm having here. So moving forward, this is the folder, but you can notice very well that in this particular directory, I don't have the node modules. Okay, so let me install the node modules. And if you check the package.json, like I said in the beginning, we have Axios and we have SAS. These are the only non-default dependency that we have in the project. So npm install, we install all these dependencies, including the ones that are not inbuilt. So moving on, if you come here, you can see install dependencies. Come here, then install all the dependencies using npm install. Okay, I think this is it. So please correct that in your file. Sorry about that. Okay, I think that is it. So please correct it in your own file. Just remove the comma here. Remove that comma and okay, it is done installing all the dependencies. Please, sorry for the oversight for this particular one. So please just um, make sure you correct it on your end. So moving on, I have the node modules installed now, and just to be safe, don't forget these are two different dependencies. I'm very sure that it have installed it, but in case it's not installed, then you install them manually. But just to be sure, paste this and come here, and it will tell you that it's up to date. I believe so. Okay, you can see up to date. Now, this project that we just imported, what does it look like? Okay, npm starts. Let's see what the project looks like. So don't forget, I said this is what our project looks like. Okay, this is what is going to the end result after uploading to GitHub. This is what it will look like. So you can see exactly the way this other one is. So this is the project over here that we're going to be uploading to hosting on GitHub. Something this simple. So that is it basically. Now, don't forget we have these two pages that we are monitoring. So after installing all these ones, now to the reason we are watching the tutorial, we have to install GitHub Pages as a development dependency. Okay, so copy this and bring in the GitHub Pages. I will close my server, then install GitHub Pages as a development dependency, and just wait for it. Okay, so it's saying it's up to date because I've installed this one initially. If you haven't, then it might be installing it afresh. Then after doing that, now please pay attention to this part that we are going to now. So if you come to your package.json, we have to make some updates to this particular file. The first update that we're going to be making is the homepage. We're going to be adding a homepage. So basically GitHub username slash the name of the repo that we are working with. So if you come here, for example, and you open this one, if you paste this one, my account username is Chris Halogen. So I can just copy this one and bring it here. But I think I want to make this one smaller. So this will be the name of my own homepage at the end. So copy the whole of this, come back here, then at the top, I like to put mine at the top. So save this. Okay, then after saving this, the next thing you want to do is to add these two scripts, the pre-deploy and deploy. Okay, under the script, still in package.json. So You copy the whole of this and you bring it here under scripts, don't forget. So comma, then you save it. Pre-deploy and deploy. These are the build commands that we're going to be using to host our project basically. Then the next thing we want to do, this is not compulsory, but one thing is that after hosting your file through that particular GitHub repository, you might want to after hosting your project itself, like the build, after hosting it, you might want to host the files themselves. So this is not compulsory, but I would advise you do it. So depending on how you pulled your repo to your device, if you used SSH, then most likely you'll be doing all this. But since I used access tokens, just follow my lead. If I come to ls, you can see all the files available. Then we have node modules, but you need to take note of something, that if you check my git ignore, I'm not going to be pushing my node modules. So please ensure that your git ignore is not pushing node modules to the to GitHub. So all you have to do, since I'm using access tokens, let me clear. Then I'll say git add all, git commit the message. I can say first deploy, no, first push. Okay. Then after saying first push, then I'll just say git push, and voila, it will push my code to GitHub. Now it is creating a main branch. Okay, it is creating a main branch for now, and no other branch is available. If you come to the repository and you try to update to reload this file, you can see I have only the main branch here. Okay, this is just the default readme file that come with React. So you can see the main branch and no other branch. So please take note of that. If you come to the pages and reload these pages as well, you won't find anything new, anything strange here. So just take note. Now, after doing that, the next thing we have to do now is to run this npm run deploy. It will create a GitHub Pages branch in your project. It will now build and deploy your project to this particular branch on that repo. So we want to do this one. So paste npm run deploy, and it will create an optimized production build, and in no time, depending on the size of your project, actually, depending on the size of your project. So it will build all the projects, and it will upload the project to this GH branch. Then it will deploy it from this particular branch. Let me show you. Now that we have done this deploy, if you come back to reload this particular page, and you can see now I have two branches. I have the main branch and I have the GH Pages branch. If you come to the GH Pages branch, you can see all the static files, then the index.html itself. So that is it basically. Now something interesting have happened just by running this particular command. So if you come under pages and you reload this page one more time, you can see your site is live at this particular link. And if you come to the tutorial and you see we go to the repository settings pages, which is this one, then you under the branch select GH Pages, then click save. This is it over here. Under this branch, select GH Pages and click save, but it has been selected by default, so you don't have to do that. But if it is not selected by default, which is a rarity, you can just do that. Now look at what it has given us the link already. If you come here and then HTTPS, your username, your github.io / the name of the repo that you are using, which is deploy react git. Now I can decide to visit the site, and you will see that exactly what I have here is what I'm going to be having here. But one thing is that, like I said, depending on the size of your project, it might take some time before this page will be live. Okay, depending on the size of your project, it might take some time before this page will be live. It might take some time. So just give it like 3-5 minutes and the page will be up. So that is it basically. That is it basically, how to host your GitHub pages, your React app on GitHub using GitHub Pages. So now another thing you should know is that anytime you make any changes to your project, then you have to do git add git commit, you commit it to the repo, then you run npm run deploy to create another build and host the build on that particular, on this particular link that we have over here, or still on GitHub. It will be accessible on this link, but the thing is that you have to run your deploy every time you make changes to your project to ensure that it is the latest build that you're having there. So please share this guide with any of your colleagues or your friends that might need it. And don't forget to like our video, subscribe to the channel, and share to your social media platforms as well. So I want to use this opportunity to appreciate every one of our subscribers, because we are almost at 3,000 at this moment, and this won't be possible if not for you guys. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye for now.